Now, if you want to go from a short hitter to a big hitter, you have clicked on the right video, because I'm going to show you 3 things that will get you to be the longest driver in your group. 3 simple ones, and you will absolutely hit the ball further when you do them. So the first thing you need to do to be able to become a longer hitter of the golf ball, and that is having a wide full turn in the backswing. So this is huge to be able to create that good width with the club and good full turn to be able to coil up. Imagine you're loading up a spring so then you can unwind back through in the downswing. If you're doing none of these, which is very, very common for you short hitters out there, and that is having no width in the backswing where the club is really close to you and all arms, where's the speed going to come from now? You've not got a good base that you've just turned into to be able to unwind through the golf ball. The more turn, the more coil up we get, we are generally creating more tension, then we're going to be able to generate more force going through that golf ball. More turn we get, also we're going to get a little bit more hand travel in that golf swing also, which is going to generate more speed. And that applies to the width. If we're getting a wider distance between club and body, again, we're having more distance that this handle here is traveling, which will create more momentum going through the downswing naturally. So if you want to talk about effortless distance, this is certainly it. If out of all these points, you were to do one of these, this would probably be the one, because most of you would be able to easily manage this. Now, full turn. How do we get a full turn? And the answer to that is use your hips more. So I see so many golfers try to get a big full backswing turn with just their shoulders. Vast majority of all of us are not flexible enough to be able to do that. We need to be able to make it easier for ourselves. And if we turn our hips more, think about your golfers like your Jack Nicklaus, for example, golfers in that era, all had tremendous hip turn. You're going to have your upper body's going to turn along with it. Can't say the same if your shoulders just turn. More hip turn you get, more shoulder turn you end up getting. So if we can do this whilst feeling like the club is wide away from us, so we're letting the hands travel around with our rotation. When we're getting wider, we're not getting wider by doing this, we'll just slice the golf ball. So you want to be getting that good hip turn, really almost feeling like at the top of your backswing, you're getting as close as you can to having your back belt loops in your trousers pointing down your target line, as close as you can. If you feel like your left heel needs to raise up, you can go and do that. Again, see Jack Nicklaus, he made it work pretty well. Nice and wide, feel like those hands are really being pushed away, and then you're going to absolutely bomb some drives. So okay, here's the first drill. So I want you to grab an alignment stick. Put the alignment stick through the belt loops of your trousers, just to where you're getting it. So a little bit's coming out here on the right, but all of it's coming up there on the left. Now this is going to be how you're going to determine how much turn you're getting. So I want you to really, at the top of your swing, make sure you're getting this pointing halfway to the golf ball, or as close as you can to the golf ball with that stick from where you started. If you're not turning your body, especially not your hips, this is not going to move at all. So I want you to get this halfway to the golf ball, or as close as you can to the golf ball, depending on your mobility, at the top of your swing. But we want that width too. So, little segmentation drill. Get to shaft parallel to the ground. Really feel like you're really stretched out. It's like someone's behind you here and you're trying to pass them the golf club. So you're trying to pass them the club. Again, you want it to be going around, not out. So here we go, we're going to stop at shaft parallel to the ground. Feel like we're handing our golf club to someone. Now let's get that stick halfway up to the golf ball. Boom, turn through it. If you can do that, that's the first bit done nicely. That's going to increase a lot of your distance straight away. So number 2 here, separation in the downswing, something I talk massively about in my videos, but when I watch shorter hitters of the golf ball swing the golf club, they have very little lower body and mid-torso separation in transition. I'll always see the arms be the first thing to move, whether for them that'll be moving down, so someone who, let's say, gets stuck, flips on the inside, or too much over the top with that overactive arm movement. You're really going to struggle to create power doing that. So getting that lower body and mid-torso to turn to start the downswing whilst keeping the chest and the arms passive creates all that torque and that tension, which is then going to result in a lot of whippy speed going through the golf ball. I think one golfer who does this massively, probably way more than any of us can really achieve, is Cameron Champ, and he hits the ball, as we know, an absolute mile. You look at his separation, those hits are just absolutely going, but we can all develop that, maybe not to his extent, but let's say if we're a golfer who doesn't have much of this in our swing, we will guarantee distance increase and accuracy increase when we do it. So 2 ways to get this into your swing. First one that I talk about all the time on my channel, and this is because it is the best one, resistance band drill. Have a resistance band tied up to an upright. Grip it like you're in the top of the backswing position here. Now you can't do anything with your upper body and your arms, but you can move your lower body and mid-torso. So really get those hips really turning through. So really turn those hips as you're doing that. You can do a big bunch of them. Let's say I'm going to do 5. Let's do 2 for the video's sake. And then what I'll do, I'll then go and hit 3 balls. So I'll go 5 of them, 3 of these, really getting that same feel. Why I would do 3 and no more balls than that and then go back, because I'd lose the feel. I want to really create that fresh feel of this, get it into those golf balls as well as I can. So here's the next drill here, and this is a one-hitting golf ball, but remember this one as well, because this is going to be one of the drills for the next point as well. So grab a club, preferably like a wedge or a sand wedge, put it underneath your trail heel. Now what we want to do, we want to have this club slightly angled so it's a little bit behind our lead leg there. Now what this is going to do, as soon as we start to turn that downswing, we need to hit this with our left leg. So you can see, as soon as I hit that with my left leg, as I'm coming down the downswing, it's clearing, it's opening up my hips. But it's also doing one more thing, which we're going to talk about, which is very important for power in the next point here. So I want to hit this as soon as I'm starting down that downswing with my left leg. That's going to open me up. That's going to get that good transition. So the third point here, this is the holy grail of distance. If you don't have this, you're not going to be maximizing your distance, that's certain. And all you short hitters, you do not do it. And that is extending the lead side in the downswing. So where the left side starts to snap straight. So visually, this looks like the left leg straightening, which is the case. But in reality also, it's the whole left side of the body is extending and elongating. So this is an incredibly powerful move. This is something that will help you hit on the up, because as soon as you start to extend that left side, the left shoulder, of course, part of your left side of your body, that goes up and around, which will then help the club propel upwards to hit up on the golf ball. Also help you with that last little moment of rotation going through the shot, because again, left shoulder is going to be going up as well, but it's going up and around. It's going like this through the golf ball. So it helped that extra rotational speed going through the golf ball also. Incredibly important thing to do. And when we do it is again, very important. So as we start getting from left arm parallel into the golf ball, that's when we want to start to feel that left leg snap straight. Really feel it snapping up there. How fast the downswing is, you feeling that happening at left arm parallel, you're going to be probably just about dead straight with your left leg, fully extended left side, just prior to impact. That's where you're going to get all the good bits from it. So really getting that left leg to extend is huge for generating big speed. Vertical speed, which is what this is, vertical force, biggest power producer in the golf swing. Holy grail of hitting longer drives. Now, first drill here, the alignment stick drag drill. One of my favorites for it, you've probably seen it quite a few times, but that's because again, it's so good. What we do, alignment stick goes down on the ground, about a foot or so behind our trail foot, but on the toe line, so the line of my toes. Now I want to have this draggle on the ground, elevate into the air when I get around a driver ball position. But I don't want to do any of that with my arms. I want to do that all with my left side extension. If I am from here, just snapping my left leg, you're going to see how the stick's going to travel. It's going to slide along the ground. It's going to elevate up as soon as I get to a driver ball position. I'm not doing anything with my hands and arms, just that left leg is extending. Hit that at the same time. That was quite good. But you can see, power that got into. That's quite heavy, that is. Boom. Straight down to the ground. That shocked me, that did. So really, really good. Really vitally important that you get this drill done if you want this into your golf swing. So, and yes, this drill, the one that we talked about in the last point with the golf club, sand wedge, preferably putting it underneath your trail heel. So yeah, this is best of both worlds, this drill, because for you to get that left leg hitting the golf club like we're talking about, left leg has to extend to do it. So it's a little bit of an exaggerated drill because you would be generally straightening the left leg maybe a little bit earlier than we want. But again, downswing so fast, it'll probably be sequenced at a good time. So just making sure you hit this with your left leg. You're going to be extending that left leg very nicely, creating that power. Shouldn't have any problems hitting that swing plate doing this one. So there we go. Brilliant, brilliant drill. That's the golden one there. So ultimately, guys, 3 points there. Turn. You have to get a good wide turn like we talked about. So that's going to create that good width. That good turn is going to create that good potential coil up to then explode back into the downswing. And then it's only important if you start that downswing then with that lower body mid-torso for good power generation. That coil again, it's going to be released through the golf ball and that good path generation from that, and then extend that left side, get it coming out of the ground, that power, and get yourself hitting on the up. If you can do those 3 things, now you might not all be able to do all of those 3 things to extent a top tour player would do. You know, that would be silly to think that you could, but even if you can create a little bit of this in your golf swing, you're going to become a much longer hitter. So you can almost view this, if you really, let's say over this winter period here in the Northern Hemisphere, you really want to prioritize getting longer drives. You could almost practice these as kind of like a little routine to do in your practice. You can do this as a routine, and then as spring starts to come around, you'll become a much longer hitter if you dedicate your time to doing these drills religiously. So you will be the longest driver in your group, and you will no longer finally be a short hitter, you'll be a long hitter. Golf, trust me, gets a lot better when you hit the ball a lot further. Way more enjoyable, way lower scores, way easier. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button to be notified every time I put out a video. So if you do these, you'll be a much longer hitter of the golf ball.